I'm gonna see if I match up. Wait, turn off your phone and we'll go again. Yeah, oh, there's just like, I'm not adding this to my story. I hope Olivia
her main gets your number on that.
Oh, okay.
No, but Grayson knows.
Grayson's gonna show that.
Grayson is on a cruise.
Oh, never mind. Wait,
Oh, by the way, he knows how our coach was talking bad about you, so. And we just said hi. There you go.
Mom, you're gonna like my stuff. I'm scared.
Good evening, everybody. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Take a moment of silence, please, for those serving in the military. All right, thank you, everybody. I don't see something down in PD. Oh, there, sorry. Oh, you're hiding at the front. Come on up. Here's your report. We have a few items on the monthly thing. Go right there. That way, anybody wants to ask any questions. You're under the firing squad, so to speak. You're good. You're good. So you can tell us what you want, what's going on in the area. We have a couple incidents here in the village that I'm sure Bill is going to question you about.
Just been a couple of incidents. A lot of hit and runs in the area. People also like to take side mirror for vehicles or something. It's happening all over the place, not just in the road, all over the place. Just trying to think. Especially the hit and runs, we don't advise people to engage in something fleeing the scene. There's been instances where someone's been chasing someone that they saw in a car. It has not ended well. We just advise people not to chase any of those people. The same thing with like people, the larceny at like a Target or something like that. We don't advise people engaging in that with people because people are crazy these days. We don't know. Anyone got any questions?
I apologize. What's your name?
Also, come out.
Yeah, I just had some questions about, we have the monthly report for July. If you can just kind of go through them and we can figure out what we got going here. So,
Do you have a copy of it?
so you have a narcotics offense on Mohawk. Do you know what that's about?
I believe that was the first precinct anti-crime meeting. I don't think that has anything to do with that. I did not advise.
Yeah, I guess you can go down the list and just kind of give us, there's only a couple.
Yeah, the larceny at Davis, some random guy that just decided to take side mirror off vehicles. Most of the time, people don't want to press charges, they just want to document the situation for insurance purposes. A lot of cases, obviously, they want to press charges and all that stuff. They send an investigative unit.
All right, and the 15th, the criminal offense on Windsor Avenue. It's another hit and run? No, it's not an MPC. It just says criminal other offense.
Yeah, it's
So is it?
yeah, so somebody was driving, obviously not paying attention. I believe it was a small child, I'm not even sure with her dog, that person shot the dog, dog went to the hospital, subject for the scene. I believe someone tried to follow the vehicle, we advised them to stop following the vehicle. The only evidence they could give us was a race lead, because they were the hospital. I was at this call that I heard about it. Basically, boyfriend girlfriend dispute. Boyfriend slapping the girlfriend in the face a couple times. She didn't want to press charges. She just wanted to document the situation for medical purposes. So just try to get order of protection from that relationship.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been having an issue down at the end of Memorial Boulevard in Orinoco there. There's a little bit of overgrowth over by the storage space over there, and one of the residents who walks the neighborhood has found syringes, needles, last week or so. So we're just trying to figure out what we need to do to, work on that. I don't know if it's people coming from the storage space or wherever they're coming from.
You can always contact the third person, try to get
All right. Is it something that we can send through you, or it's something we need to?
That would have to go through a high.
Yeah.
But with me, I would say, what happens, drive by a few times.
So, okay, next question. So there's a lot more presence of homeless and mentally ill people in Bayshore. They're now coming into the village private residence instead of doing walk around half naked. That was after I guess at the library. I think last week we had somebody walking through the back roads, went into the residence, right into the residence garage, and sort of like walking on that. What are you guys doing? Is there any intervention from the Suffolk County? I know you guys have some a group that works with mental health issues, but how do we get them in Bayshore more and actually involved in the whole situation?
So our crisis team is part of the so once, say myself, when I'm person, when I get taken to the swimming hospital, be evaluated, alert gets sent to them if they're on the radar. A lot of these people are issued medication for that. A lot of times they'll offer medication, so they may get alerts from whoever at Stony saying, hey, this person needs to go back to Stony to get their medication.
Is there a local place that they go here in Bayshore? Is there like a local methadone clinic or something like that in our? Because I know it used to be, but now we seem to be seeing a lot more mental health.
Yeah, they all fought here. So we get a lot of calls over there on a daily basis about homeless stuff. We just try to do our best over there. We try to keep us on safe.
I mean, there was cameras at the train station that are on now, so is that nice of thing? Is that something?
Yeah,
That's nice of things they got to report on cameras. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, quickly.
Hi, thanks for coming. Last month or the month before, we were told that some county police really don't chase it. So what type of tickets are you allowed to write? And are any of them for vehicles that are overweight, right? And that because our roads are not made for some of the vehicles that are like that.
So
That's so low the protocol.
Yeah, so we do have a DOT police vehicle that actually do look at this stuff. I know some of
One vehicle?
believe it, don't focus on that. I know some of the older veterans of this job, try to enforce that type of stuff. Obviously, we've seen 18 going down side street. We've been trying to do more of that stuff because we see trying to do the cut across these routes and stuff, and then taking down a tree or drive through someone's house or something like that. Yeah, anything is fair game with those trucks.
Is there a way to request them? And Chris, you know where the issue is, right? So is there a way for him to request them come into the village and do
They can, so they'll do, they really want to come out I know they come out where Nathan was just trying to park their car on the side street and then we sleep over the night and take it down through. DOT did come out and we did their investigation. They found nothing else, just free back.
What about the ones that are missing in the LIU that are pulling over vehicles?
That would be allowed.
that's highway patrol, until we could request the highway patrol to look at
So
some
on
vehicles.
Sunrise Highway, the service road is regular patrol. Actual highway.
There's no way to get them to come in, because we have one road that we have vehicles that are whole way coming through. So there's no way to request them to come in, just cannot.
I mean, you could try, I don't know how far you can get that.
Also, I just have one. So this is going to seem so trivial, but I've gotten some complaints that I've witnessed it myself. There's like a group of kids that are kind of cruising around the village, doing the normal, kicking over garbage cans, banging on residents' doors pretty bad, just kind of like terrorizing some people that are walking their dogs. And I don't want residents taking to their own hands, like approaching kids. Is there suggestions? They told you guys, I don't want to waste your time with something trivial, but it's just, I feel like these kids need to be kind of steered a little bit.
Yeah, so like, you know, when we get calls and things like that, the person will try to engage these kids.
Right, I'd rather not.
That just.
It's escalated to
Yeah.
something more. I'm trying to avoid that.
No, it's not always the time. Obviously, you know, you can call, come check it out. Not doing anything criminal, just police stands.
Gas-powered scooters with no license plates, nothing you guys can do.
They change the laws almost every day. So I tell one person one thing and there's no other thing.
Anybody else?
Just one thing I've noticed a lot more, authorized I've noticed a lot more people running on the stop sign, especially on Orinoco, guys. Do you feel that's being
Yes.
Do you guys ever monitor the stop sign?
Yeah, it's like people will just call the precinct line and be like, hey, there's people blowing, you know, so stop sign. They just request someone to sit there. You know, if we have a little bit of downtime, you know, if it's not too busy, you know, our bosses will send the cars to sit on a specific stop sign, you know, for like an hour or two just to monitor. Most of the time, especially in the summer, you know, we're busy, so we really can't get to that type of stuff. We do try. Yeah, the best thing to do is just call the precinct and talk to a boss, because, you know, we can give an answer, but the boss isn't going to have anything. But that answer goes to the boss, and that gets sent to the client to more control.
Anyone else? All right, thank you, be safe. Thank you. Appreciate you taking that. All right, so I'm making a motion to approve the previous board minutes of July 6, 2026. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. Reports of the mayor and the trustees. Trustee Zach, we'll start with you down here. That's the first one. You're welcome.
Mayor, good evening, everybody. Just been working with the village office. The staff has been really busy processing permits, collecting taxes. Taxes were due July 1. Now there's a 5% penalty. So if you haven't paid, I suggest you pay. There was 500 Walker Beach passes issued, in addition to 124 landscaping permits this year. So they've been incredibly busy. Nice piece of news. We have a new website that's being launched tomorrow, right, Nicole?
Yes.
All right, it's the villageofbrightwaters.gov website. It's a much more secure website. It's going to be much more user-friendly. It'll be a trusted online experience. You know, we're working through it. I think the residents should be excited about it. Other than that, I just think the staff has been really good about responding to residents' calls and emails. If you ever have an issue, not feeling like you're not getting a proper response, feel free to give me a call and we'll address it. Okay? That's it.
Can you put your number out there?
Okay.
Deputy Mayor,
Yeah, so some incidents in the village in the past month. The mayor mentioned it down on Plymouth Drive on the service road. We had a video of a guy basically walking down the service road, sees an open garage, goes in, takes a bike, and bikes away. We've been receiving a lot of complaints about young children on e-scooters riding around the village. You know, not much that we can do. It's really on the parents, you know, especially to make sure that they're safe, have them wearing helmets. You know, it's a lot to ask, but do your best to make sure that your kids are safe out there. Four corners parking, obviously this summer, we're busy. It's become a bit of a safety issue. People are parking, picking up their kids from the dance and stuff like that, just leaving the car sitting there illegally parked. We're going to start ramping that up and start hitting people with tickets for that. Stop signs were installed at Brooklyn and Mohawk after the petition that we received at the last meeting. That's all that. That's it.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Trustee Butler?
All right, community events and celebrations. I get to report on all the fun stuff that we do here. Village camp wrapped up on the 24th. The campers got to end their camp season with a trip to Atlantique and Bayshore High School to see their performance of The Little Mermaid. The last day of camp was a carnival for all campers and families to enjoy. Our camp coordinators, Maria and Lori, they did an awesome job as they do every year, so a big thanks to them. We've had a great few family fun nights at Walker Beach the past few Thursdays. Thank you to all of our musical guests and our food trucks as well. We have a couple left. We have 3 more Thursdays left, so be sure to come on down and check it out. We held Beach Bingo on July 22nd. We had an awesome turnout. It was a very windy night, but we all had a blast, and thank you to Mayor Baldini for organizing and executing. We had a couple of the camp counselors come and run pretty much the whole bingo event, so that was great. And thank you to our village staff for getting all the great prizes. Maggie Fisher Swim was held on Friday. It was an incredible event. It is every year. It was the 100th year of the Cross Bay Swim, a 5.6-mile swim from Fire Island to Gilbert Park. There was 120 participants, ages ranging from 16 to 75 years old. So thank you to the Fisher family, the volunteers, the office staff, and the DPW crew, and of course Mayor Fawcett as well. We had our Lakes Appreciation Day just this past Saturday. Thanks to Peter Judge Jr. and Mayor Fawcett for organizing. Thanks to all the volunteers who helped. They cleaned up the lakes. They look amazing. If you've driven past, they've never looked better. They removed plants, planted plants, pulled out weeds. So thank you to everybody who helped out with that. Some upcoming events. Our next one, and correct me if I'm wrong, Snapper Tournament, Wednesday, August 26th at Gilbert Park from 4 to 7:30. And a couple of other things coming. We'll announce the dates in a few weeks, but we have the Village Garage Sale coming up in October, the Village Block Party coming up in October, and some fun things ahead.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Trustee Melton?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. DPW was busy again last month. Regular maintenance around the village, trash pickup, cutting grass, watering flowers, removing the seed, the beach, and the sailboat harbor. As everybody said, stop signs and stop bars have been installed east and westbound Brooklyn and Mohawk. Speed humps on the crosswalk from Windsor Avenue in front of Woodsticky Park have been repainted. Driveway into the Beautiful Park on Concourse East has been repaired. Trimming of low-hanging trees to defend the visibility of traffic safety signs is in progress. Removal of and dumping of lily pads from the lakes route as needed. Removal of brush trims around the lakes. We do a great job on trimming those around the lakes. You'll finally see the lakes again. Walker Beach bathrooms have been repaired. And they've assisted events at Brightwater's 250th celebration, the Bayshore Fire Run, the pump, and the Cross Bay Swim and the Ice Cream Social. We had the engine coming in to have the pump next year. Also, the house got hit by lightning on Pinewood Boulevard last month. The fire department was called for a structure fire, and I responded as a member of the fire department as a village trustee. Upon arrival of the first engine, they missed the pump the hydrant because it was covered with bushes and flowers. I spoke to the homeowner and she said to me to do whatever was necessary. But the point here is hydrants are a necessary part of firefighting for the family as well as the neighbors. So please take notice if you see any issues concerning hydrants or overgrown stuff, please notify the DPW or call Village Hall. And I'd like to thank the Village DPW for their help with the rescue facility. It was a great event. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee. Appreciate that. I got quite a list, so I'll try to get through it quickly. First, I do want to acknowledge that Mayor, Trustee McGilty honored his father at the Ice Cream Social. He did a wonderful job. I kind of let him run that whole program. He did a great job. Appreciate you doing that. We also had some other events. We continue to have volleyball Mondays. Of course, as soon as I canceled volleyball for tonight, the sun came out, so kudos to me, Quick Weatherman. I talked about the Ashland Social. The market down the corner had a soft opening. They're open like 2.5 weeks now. They're working through their processes. They know they made some mistakes along the way. So if you were there early on, go back and give them another try. She's doing a great job. There's a lot of things that are going to come online in the next couple of months. So she's working through the processes there. So definitely go check it out. She's a great person. Bathrooms at Walker and Mississippi. So both bathrooms decided to go out. And I didn't make a pun here, but I won't. In the same week within 2 days of each other. The one at Walker is a little bit easier. After investigating it, we found out that we actually have a cesspool down. Hasn't been pumped in probably over 20-some-odd years. The problem with that is you really can't have a cesspool on a working property, so we'll be looking to connect that to the sewer in the fall. The one at Mississippi cabin's a little more of a problem. When we put the camera down there, we discovered we went from old clay pipe to plastic to clay pipe to plastic. So it's been multiple repairs, so the best advice we're going to get is to discontinue that old line and then run a new one to the street, which is probably about 125 yards, so that's going to be cheap. Other infrastructure projects, we've been working with National Grid to minimize some our costs on Orinoco. I just got an email actually today from the project manager over there, Bob and our engineer. The scope of their project is different than what we first discussed, so we're going to recircle with them. Our plan is to do from Windsor going west to the Bay Shoreline. And then we're going to do Orinoco Court east and west. Those are the ones that are behind Ridelli, and then also next to the new taco place. And we were going to go those down to the first corner. National Grid is actually doing a section down by the DPW yard, so we're going to connect it to them. They also just put on their thing, they want to do Orinoco east of this Windsor, which I just found out about. I'm going to throw that twice as scope of work, so we're going to have to speak with them. We also have an issue with our parking lot at Walker. It was down there, you can see the potholes. The issue is that it was never built properly in the first place. It was basically blacktop over gravel. So when I had the engineer down there, we're going to have to rebuild that, repair it, and re-grade it, and we're going to get prices on that. So a lot of money going out. Trustee Pettit got a number for our breakwater. Our initial bid is more than $50,000. So I don't want to say the exact number because we have to run it there. So we're going to have to try to get pre-prices for that. And we're going to see if we can get funding from the state on that. I actually just reached out to Resilience New York, which is part of the state, to see if we can get any funding for that. I also reached out to Garbarino's office about a new salt building. Nicole and I worked on a proposal, roughly about $250,000. The good thing is they didn't say no. The bad thing is the funding for 2027 is already allocated, so we'll be on the docket on 2027 to look at 2028 for that. I'm also in touch with Nicole's office and her liaison. We're meeting on August 11th. I want to see if I can get some monies for different projects in the village. So trying to offset some of the expenses that we have to keep our beautiful village the way it is by using state money. Also, I just wanted to put up my notes here. Oh, I want to give an update on Orinoco, property of Orinoco, the fields. I'm in close contact with Preston Owens. He's the project manager there. They're pretty close to completion. If you've gone down, you saw that they put the trees in. Their streetlights are about 6 weeks out. They're trying to figure out a way to engineer them. When they put the curbs in, they went to dig the hole to put the streetlights in. They have to be, I think, 4 to 6 feet down because of hurricanes and different things. The gas tank's right underneath them. So we're going to figure out a way to re-engineer that, re-engineer around that. Bobby's been, overseeing it as well as our engineer, looking at everything that we've done. We're going to have them certify all their work they have done, so that we are basically not liable for anything that they misrepresented. From the legal side, we're still in the process of hashing out the covenants and restrictions. I will tell you this: I had a conversation today about their lights on the field and saying that, obviously, that was not something that we initially approved. But we will revisit it, and when we're going to do a test, we'll send out a blast to the village residents, so we turn the lights on when it's dark, and we're going to walk around the property to make sure none of the residents are affected. So, and if they are affected, we're going to try to do the best to minimize that. I told them there's no way we're going to have lights on, I feel at 10 o'clock at night, any night. So you agree with that, or we're still going to work on that. A couple other things. Snap the tournament, it's a great event. If you want to come down, we're going to have a food truck down there. I think actually we're doing a food truck, we're still doing our hot dogs. I think we're doing a hot dogs things down. We're doing a hot dog stuff down here. I'm going to just throw this out here, a great scout project. If somebody's looking to do a scout project, it was done many years ago, was that we had scouts going around the village cleaning out around all the hydrants, and they actually put a decal on the road where there was a fire hydrant. They also had decals for the sewer drains in the village to say, just whatever goes in here is going to go to the bed. Your daughter did that? That was a great project. I still remember it. See that? So, yeah, that's a great project. So if anybody's looking for an idea for a scout project, please do that. Also want to thank all the families that sponsored the Family Fun Nights. The reason we're able to do that is families come together and they sponsor that and offset some of the costs for those nights. If you haven't been to one, I highly suggest you do. We get close to 300 people now. So it's a really great time. If somebody called the code officers this Sunday because somebody was working on Sunday, I apologize, a code officer called in sick. We run that team kind of thin and lean. We don't really pay them a lot of money, so it's hard to get people that are flexible to come in because they all have secondary jobs. Trustee Melody has somebody that we're going to be interviewing, so hopefully we'll fill out some of those holes. And I think that's pretty much all I have for right now. Thank you all, and I'll move on to the next agenda item. All right, so we're going to do presentation of Girl Scout Cadet Troop 221, Angela, Kaylee, and Madeline. Civil War project to be build a sports toy library at the city park. Welcome.
My name is Kaylee. My name is Madeline. She's passing out her
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What we are building a free community sports equipment library with playground toys and sports ball for everyone to use. Some examples will be included football, soccer balls, soccer balls, sensors, and other fun outdoor play equipment. Where would we place it? We would like to place it in our playground sports equipment box at City Hall. Why are we doing this? We are doing this to help kids spend less time on their phones and more time playing outdoors and socializing with others. We are doing this to introduce the community to new sports and activities, to help adults and kids exercise more, to provide free sports equipment for families who forget to bring their own or don't have access to it. Who is it for? Our Play for All program is designed for everyone regardless of age because everyone deserves the opportunity to stay active and have fun. We are planning to place the project by October 26th. How to maintain it. One of us will check the box supplies monthly to see if we need more supplies. If we need more supplies, we will give donations out of dollars to keep up the supplies. We will also create a poster explaining how everyone can help the library with great food by returning items after use and donating and maybe use sports equipment and playground if they no longer need. Together we can help everyone have the opportunity to play. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Anybody on the board have any questions or thoughts? Yeah.
I love your idea. As a mom of two boys, we spend a lot of time at Pacific Park, and I always forget the Gaga ball. So I think this would be great. My question is, which you answered a little bit, is I foresee the balls disappearing. Which one of you is going to be in charge of maintaining or checking up on it?
We live on each month.
first of every month, maybe one of you would go and see? And then how are we gonna replenish the stock once the balls go missing? And the materials that we're gonna use for the toy closet, that's gonna be suitable for all types of weather and kids opening and closing the doors. Yeah.
Great. All right, anybody else?
That's a good idea.
All right.
Love it.
Anybody in the audience have any questions? Girls? No?
Comments?
Go ahead. Chris?
Are you going to put the
Chris, name, address?
Chris Pace, 506 North Windsor, it's right across from the park? Are you going to put a name on all the balls?
Yeah.
Okay. And who's building it?
Us there.
And where are you getting tools from?
We got those from those in the
Good job.
So I always say our village is very generous. If there's anybody out there listening or knows any builders that want to help these girls with just being shown the proper ways to do things, please reach out to me and I'll connect you guys, okay? Thank you very much, ladies.
Good job, girls.
So I make a motion to approve the sports toy library with Pacific Park. Do a second? Second. All those in favor? All right, great, thanks. I got an addition, a late addition, Kayleen Dean for Girl Scout Gold Award Project. Is Kayleen Dean? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Kate. Okay, sorry.
So I'm doing a gold award on fast fashion because we want to rise the issue in the last like 6 years or so. And what I'm looking to do is hold a kids back for the city park to receive any clothing donations that people would like to give every year. Going to use them to Long Island Big Brothers Big Sisters company, which works to recycle.
Very well. Did you have a date in mind, or do you want to coordinate that with the garage sale? Okay. So Trustee Butler's going to be in touch. I'll forward your email. The garage sale we do throughout the village, but we also do it at Pacific Park, which is a great day for you. Make sure that we get the word out. So it's fun. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So all right, so a motion to approve the gold award for Girl Scouts for Kayleen Dean. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, thank you. You can leave, you don't have to vote this and the rest of this nonsense. Consider resolution. Consider resolution number 4, 2026, authorization of revised mechanical harvester agreement and weekly payment schedule for Chris Pace. If you don't know, Chris does a great job on the weed boat in the lakes. He asked if he could be paid weekly. He's an independent contractor, so we had to do some workarounds to figure out a way to do that. So we're just going to amend the resolution how we're paying him. We already approved his being working and his payment schedule. So, do you want to get us make a motion to approve the considered resolution? Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, so consider resolution number 5, acceptance of donations for the Rising family and authorization to purchase bronze memorial plaques for the Breckenridge Ring of Honor Memorial. So the Ring of Honor is something that the Risings came up with help from Mary Kate, the Historical Society, and a couple of residents. We have 4 vets who unfortunately perished while they were serving in the military. What the Rising would like to do is honor those people. If you don't know, the flagpole at the head of the canal was donated by Mrs. Rising. They want to inlay those there. We're still going to try to figure out how to do that. The Risings were nice enough to donate the plaques, pay for the plaques themselves. We have to figure out how to, and these plaques, because they're memorializing somebody that died in the act of serving our country, have to be bronze. And bronze, obviously, is a precious metal. So we have to figure out a way to secure that. But I think we should go ahead with this motion and approve it, and we'll figure out the logistics later on. The village will be responsible for the installation. So, as ask for a motion to approve resolution number 5. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, guys. Consider resolution number 6, authorization of exception to summer camp no work refund policy. This past year, we had a situation where a camper was there for, I think, 1 or 2 days, and then decided it wasn't the appropriate space for her, and decided no longer to attend. The parents asked us for a refund on the camp. We have no refund policy, but I look at it this way: the child was there for 2 days, maybe 2 days. I don't think that child should be responsible. Plus the fact that we're oversold on the camp, so I think it's just the right thing to do. So I call for a motion to consider resolution number 6. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, good. All right, resolution number 7, approval of outdoor public assembly permit for Rotary Kiwanis Snapper Derby event at Gilbert Park on Friday, September 11th from 3 to 8 p.m. The Kiwanis does a fundraiser. They do similar to what we do for the Snapper tournament, but it's for their organization. And we've done this for the past couple of years. They're a great organization. They have food trucks. They open up to everybody, so it's not just for their group. So I think it's a good thing for the village, and it's very, very impactful on the village. So I call for motion in resolution number 7. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, great. So this one, Nicole, we're gonna have to table this one. Consider it resolution number 8, and that was for public assembly for Northwell. It's on October 3rd, and the reason is it's the same day as the garage sale. So we need to find out their route.
Yeah, the route is
Is it
over
around?
there, but.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. It is. So it's either we move the garage sale or they move the race.
We'll call them to see if they are.
Yeah. I mean, why don't we just do this? Can we approve this in like over email? Okay. So why don't we do this? Once the board just think about if we want to change the date of the garage sale, which I think might be beneficial because I believe the Girl Scout group that was going to help us there can't work that day. So let's just look at the calendar and see what we work. So we'll just deal with that. That's all right with everybody. All right. Consider resolution number 9, accepting donation and authorization of expenditures for the Eagle Scout flagpole enhancement project at Gilbert Park. If you will remember, we did the Scout project down at Gilbert Park, and that was done by Charlie Scarrow, and is that a different one? Yeah, I'm sorry. That was done by Charlie Scarrow. We did that tribute on 250 celebration down in Gilbert, and there were some expenditures that they raised money for. The village is going to get reimbursed for that, so we have to do this resolution. So we have to do this resolution so we can accept that check. So I make a motion to approve resolution number 9. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Great. Moving along. Resolution number 10. Approval of the outdoor public assembly acknowledgement of the event cost contribution declaration of the Sound of Silence on Saturday, May 22nd, 2027 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's the Sound of Silence run that we do. That's run by the Mascara family. Great event, great cause. I'm always going to support our village residents if they're going to do something to give back. So I think it's good. Make a motion to accept resolution number 10. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Getting there. Yeah. Public hearing to be held on Tuesday, September 8th for local law. It's actually because we don't have it yet, 2026, to amend chapter 128-72 Scott York orders. This was something that we had to come up with because of the Orinoco project, to be honest with you. They kind of ran right through us, and then we had to elevate this legally to the Suffolk County Supreme Court. So basically, this is a poison pill. This is legislation I asked Bob to work on. He did a great job with it. He actually looked in the planning board, and they updated some certain codes. So it's basically, if somebody decides to build a project in the village of the right words and decides not to follow our codes and do it the proper way, they're going to get a stop work order. If they get a stop work order, it's going to be painful for them financially. So this is kind of a poison pill, so we don't see what happened over and over happen again. So I call for a motion to have a public hearing on September 8th, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? And now we're gonna actually open up the conversation a little bit on this one. Continue public discussion, parking for boat owners and permits on Corinthian. We're originally gonna do a public hearing on this, but as we discussed it, more and more people had their opinions on this. So we're just going to open it up to the audience. If anybody wants to speak about the parking on Corinthian, please do so now. If we're please, anybody out there? That's shocking that nobody showed up. That's very shocking. Got a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, but nobody did. All right. So again,
Is that area any different than the other side streets where the voters are permitted?
it's a little different because the parking flips, and then we have parking. We do have one issue where there's two spots right by Concourse West where it basically blocking Denise Gibson's view getting out of her driveway. So we have to adjust it a little bit. We also have parking down past between South Bay and Bayway that's never being used. So if we're gonna, I didn't want to just fix one thing. If I'm gonna look at the whole problem, I'm gonna fix it. And then there's an individual lives on a corner and he says he can't park on Bayway because he blocks the stop sign with his truck, his pickup truck, and he can't park on Corinthian because he's going parking only, he doesn't have a boat, and I know from speaking with them that they have family that parks on Corinthian when they're babysitting the kids and they're getting tickets, so the whole thing's kind of a mess. So I don't want to look piecemeal it, so I'd rather look at the whole thing. Bill and I have been down there several times. We have an idea of what we think would be. Not everybody's going to be happy, but it'll solve some of the issues that we have down there. So we're going to kind of put that in process. So do I need to call for a public hearing for the next meeting on this? Do we need to have all the specifics on it?
No, but I think it's certain amount of these prior to
Yes. So I'm going to call for a motion for a public hearing to discuss and finalize the parking on Corinthian Court. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? All right. Approval of the treasurer report and abstracts are in the packet. Being the mayor, I get to sign up on all these checks now, which is kind of scary how much money this bill spends every month. We are doing our best to minimize that. But I call for a motion to approve the treasurer report and abstracts for this meeting. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Now I'm going to open up for public comment. If you are going to speak, please come up to the podium, name, address, and question. Come on up. Come on.
Carl Fraser, 514 Richmond Road. I just heard there's unanticipated or anticipated repairs. For example, the Walker Beach bathroom and the city park. Are these considered major repairs? And if so, what's the source of funding to have this done? I missed what you said about the state funding. Was that in relation to covering the cost of these repairs and renovations?
Yeah, so short term, there's going to be repairs that we're going to cover, and we actually have I think it's 8% reserve, Nicole? Is it 80% now, or is it more than that? So we have an 8% reserve in our monies that we have for this specific reason, for some of the short term. We don't have the number yet for Mississippi Walker Beach bathrooms. I can't give you a number on that. The breakwater is going to be very expensive. I'm going to try to get funding for that instead of coming out of our capital budget. So it's going to be different things. And then long-term projects in the village, that's what I'm going to the state for and the federal government, because those are things that we don't need to do right away, but we get federal funding for them and state funding for them. It's better to spend their money than ours, even though it is ours. And then working with the local utilities, I've been in touch with Suffolk County Water, National Grid, KCG, about what their plans are doing with capital improvements in the village. So whenever they're going to touch something, they are on the hook for some of that, for fixing of whatever they damage in the village. As you know, we have a moratorium on paving, so working with them to, in concert with them and save the village money. So there's three different things. There's the emergency stuff like the roof that after a storm has to be repaired and nobody wants to pay for it. Then there's the
It does. First question is, the anticipation of these fixes, to be done this year, or was?
So the bathrooms have to be done this year. National Grid is supposed to break ground in 2 weeks on Orinoco. We were going to pave Orinoco anyway, part of it anyway. So we're just trying to work with them so we minimize the cost of what the village has to pay on that. We also do have CHIPS money, which is from the state, which refunds some of the meeting. So we have significant money in that that's already allocated to road repair and pavement. So we have those funds in there. And the one at Walker Beach, the cost to do nothing there is going to outweigh the cost to fix that because it basically is an accident waiting to happen. So we're going to fix that, and that'll last us probably 20, 30 years. The way we're going to grade so we'll never have standing water there anymore. If you've been down the Walker, there's like 3 or 4 dry wells. If you ever look down in them on a dry day, there's water in them. So they're not doing anything. They're basically bathrooms. So we have to regrade it so we're going to run either towards the Mississippi Canal, the Walker Canal, and towards the road. So that'll get repaired, and that'll be something that I got to see in my house, something I'm going to have to do in my lifetime. So I hope that answers it.
Yes, it does. I guess, following up that, is there any plan in place by the board to look at certain things that might need maintenance in the future, such as, for example, the Walker Beach bathroom that you can anticipate and take care of before
it becomes a
things
major.
happen?
Yeah. So as you know, we had put together a plan a long time ago about capital improvements and things of that nature. I am actively looking right now to at Cole do a report on our code vehicles and how much we're paying in repairs. We paid $18,000 in the last year and a half, so basically almost $1,000 a month for repairs. At that point, it doesn't make sense to keep repairing that vehicle trying to get a new vehicle. So I'm looking at those different things. I also know that our roads are now beyond the scope of their life, even though they are in good shape. We need to start putting a plan in place. With that, Carl, just so you know, as deputy mayor, I also realized that we have certain bonds and things that are coming off, so we have less money going out on certain things. Unfortunately, what we couldn't foresee is the increases from the fire department, the DPW contract. We actually got away with one with the contract for the garbage men because we actually able to extend that out 2 more years, and that was a huge increase. So we kind of kicked that can down the road a little bit. So we are looking at stuff that we can foresee in the future to take care of, and that's why it's going to be really important for us to really start to access state and federal money. I have a very good relationship with Andrew Barbarino. I met Governor Hochul's liaison. She seemed very amicable, and the prevalence from New York State really is looking at the waterfront protections, and they have grant money. So I'm looking forward to sitting down with them and seeing what we can do to make sure that our waterfront is sustained, and hopefully that includes the breakwater and other things, so we can do that this week. So that's my plan, and it's a lot to do that. But thanks. Thank you. Anybody else?
Before Chris goes, okay. Thanks. Michael Lippolito, number 1 here at Waste Drive. Can you say dear God, you're back?
You got it.
That's cool. I just have a couple questions. One pertaining to, is there any consideration to maybe getting an increased commander down to me from Suffolk or the sergeant or the actual sector that controls running? Because no disrespect to him, but it's like they're here for me in a row. So you're middle getting answer, and I know you guys are trying. But like going to someone's garage and taking something is just, this is kind of a big deal whether we hope or not. And I think we're getting misled by them a little bit, saying, the normal stuff. The gas powered scooters, all that stuff. It was started at 1 o'clock, now it goes till 10 o'clock. They're playing on speed humps, which is fine, but it's not just a village thing, it's all over Beachfront. They drive on the bridge speed, but they play in the village. And my fear is that one of the kids is going to get by them.
Yeah, I mean, during Ashland Social, a group of say 10 or 12 of them came flying up the wrong way up the one-way street by the city. I had to run out and get food for the DPW guys, and I was killing them because they just didn't stop. It's a big issue, and I think the only way to combat that is to basically find out whose kids they are, because they're more than likely village residents, and have a conversation with their parents.
The mopeds and stuff?
There's a lot of kids who
I see
play.
ATVs and...
No, I'm not disagreeing. There's a certain element outside the village that comes to the village that goes down Montauk Highway. I see it's absolutely nuts. But there's a certain element in the village that kids are getting these e-bikes and things and e-scooters, and they really, Justin Butler, are going to do a safety thing next May, but it's really bad right now. And the kids' ages are, they look like they're 5, 6 years old on these things, and they're driving down the Concourse doing 20, 30 miles an hour. It's insane. It's really insane.
19-year-old, 20-year-old, those are the guys I see it. For outside, video of them.
Yeah. It used to just be that one guy on the skateboard that was flying around with music. Now it's everybody. So unfortunately, we're kind of handcuffed with what we can do with our code guys, and it sounds like Suffolk County PD can't chase them. So the only thing I can tell you is that I've done it myself when I've seen some kids that are driving recklessly down Concourse West that follow them to their house. And I actually said, hey, would your parents approve if I told them what they were doing? They said, no. I said, please do me a favor, don't do that. I don't suggest people doing that, but if you see a kid that you recognize, maybe just a nice text saying, hey, your son's doing 30 down, whatever road it is, without a helmet on the scooter.
I think it's kind of feeds into the next thing is that, Bill was there. They're not the only thing. Guys soliciting at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
No ID on them.
Yeah.
Nothing. Walking around, banging on doors.
Yeah.
No
He
umbrella.
knocked on our house 9:30 on what was it? Midnight? Sunday or something? Yeah. I don't know.
Just think if the cop is out there driving around a little bit, maybe it deters a little bit of the stuff from happening.
If I can hit on it though, just like what you're saying about getting somebody else here. So when we had the woman get hit by the car on Montauk, I reached out to the precinct. Actually got a little bit of traction, and we did get a couple of higher ups here, but they weren't answering the questions the way you want to hear it. They were saying they can't chase a kid on a scooter, on an electric scooter, whatever, on a gas scooter. As far as the what are we saying?
The soliciting.
Oh, soliciting. So I reached out to that company the next day. I got pushed through to Provo, Utah. Then I finally made it to somebody in California that I spoke to. They said they were going to put it out to their salespeople that they're not, the village, you're not supposed to be soliciting after dusk.
You were there. It was shady. It was definitely more than just that.
But yeah, as far as the officers that come here, we do have some that come more than once, and they're pretty good. Sometimes they don't have much information. But.
And then lastly, is there any plan in the future for when you come off of Orinoco onto like Memorial, you split the cars, get away cars, everybody just kind of whips by, and it's only a matter of time. I know you have a stop sign there.
Yeah.
And I think it was scheduled to be a speed hump, but I guess
You're saying the stop sign by Kyle's?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, both up. They kind of come in. They don't need to speed them.
Yeah. So with regards to speed ups, I got a petition on my desk about speed ups. I think we just put stop signs in there. So I like the speed humps, but I don't like the speed humps. So the speed humps cost a lot of maintenance to maintain, especially with the striping and things of that nature. They create a little bit of an issue for us when we're plowing in the winter time. And they also, we now have people from other blocks saying, well, now we got cars speeding down our block because the speed humps are on the block. I knew that was going to happen. I still was in favor of it because, Lamar said they had a lot of issues. But I don't want to become the rulers of the speed humps either. So we will selectively look at them. If somebody wants them, I'm going to tell you right now, get a petition of everybody who lives on your block or your immediate block. Because I'm not going to approve, I'm not even going to bring it forward unless everybody in that area approves it. Because I don't want 10 people for it and not one person against it. Because, we all live there. So we have to work together. So if anybody wants to speed on, we have to petition of their neighbors. If they want it, and then we'll think about it. They're expensive to install, they're expensive to maintain, just so you know. Anybody else? All right.
Are we on the financial or this is general?
Whatever you want.
Hunter Ranch Better 45 Acres Boulevard. You mentioned that one of the things you're going to rely upon to do some of the repair work and capital improvements is the reserve fund, correct? Is that designed for non-emergency disbursements? And if you're going to use it, how do you plan to restore it?
We have contingency budget.
Yeah.
So I, contingency,
Right, but so it's not the reserve
no, but
in the literal
if
sense.
it doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't know what the cost is gonna be, so I don't wanna say, hey, if it can't cover the contingency, can't cover it all, then we have to do that modification. And it would probably most likely come from the reserves.
Right, but my question is that the type of a disbursement that qualifies for use of that reserve?
I would
Because
think
that's not a
so.
non-emergency, it's non-emergency, right?
It's part of our public service to the community, the bathrooms are, right?
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that reserve fund, when the board that instituted that protocol, it was designed for emergency circumstances. That's
Was
why
it,
the
was it
reserve-
designed for that, or was it designed because we had taken out the bonds and we wanted a certain amount of money in storage for certain issues, for bond payment issues? I think it was
Well,
that.
that's different than a non-emergency repair.
Yes, I'll look into it, but I don't think
I'm
that
just-
it was I don't think it was restricted to just emergencies. So, I mean, if that's your question, I don't think it was restricted. I think it was basically created when the bonds were taken out. And I'll clarify it, I'll make sure. But my understanding was it was part of the agreement when we took the bonds out, we had to have a certain reserve. Matter of fact, at one point, we had too much money in there. We had to reallocate that to those funds. I think right now we're at 8%. I looked at it. Okay. So I think we don't have to keep up to 6%. Is that right?
No, it's no more than 20%.
No, but no less than.
Oh, yeah, no less than.
No less than 6. So we're above what the minimum requirement is. And again, I'll get clarification on that. I don't ever think it was ever emergency.
I'm just, and then, of
You're
course,
right. It's fine.
you have to consider restoring it to its own.
Yes.
Plan for that. Does the board have any intentions of considering renewing the bond that's expired or expired?
Not at this time. One of the things that I installed with Trustees is to work with them to see where we are with our numbers, to see what's the best way to finance things. I am not in favor of the bond because I don't like paying interest, even personally. I don't like paying interest to people for using their money. I kind of still do that way. So if we can self-fund it, then we'll do it that way. But if foreseeable changes, also, our interest rates right now are I would like to do that.
That's my point.
But that's my.
When it was cheap money, it was fine.
Yeah,
It's not cheap
I
money.
think we're okay right now. I mean, unless something unforeseeable happens, I don't think we're going to have any issues of getting below 6% or being in jeopardy.
Can you explain, there's an item on the financial report, there's a payment of $113,000 for the canal. It ends in 2031, what is that?
Well, it's just bond payment for the canal, so we did a transfer from canal to general.
Is that the last bond that was issued?
Yeah, that was Cockboy's, we said,
No, that was the first.
that was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one. That's up in 2031.
Oh, I thought it was up next.
We had a,
No,
we just,
that was the road.
that was a road bond. That one's gone.
Oh, that one, this
Yeah.
was,
Yeah,
this is the second one, I
paid for
got
out
it,
of
I
the
got
general,
it. Okay, I got it.
canal
I got it.
transfer.
One final comment. I wasn't at the April meeting, but I understand that a question was asked about the due date for the petitions for the election, and there was some misinformation that was issued to the public about that. Can't opine on whether that influenced the outcome of the election in any way, shape, or form. I'm wondering if the board has had an opportunity to discuss how we avoid that in the future.
I think Trustee McNulty and I have come to peace with that, and I think that it's unfortunate that it was basically in or about was the actual term, wasn't specific, and it is what it is at this point. I can't go back and fix that, but we'll make sure in the future that that doesn't happen. I wasn't at that meeting either.
But I'm saying,
But I understand. I don't,
Shouldn't it just cut down?
it's unfortunately
What should be done?
it's unfortunately it's up to the candidate to make sure that they.
Technically, you're correct.
Yes. So, and I understand what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, and again, I think Trustee McNulty and I are doing a very good job of working together, and we'll have the same common interest, what's best for the board.
Very good.
He's keeping me on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up, Joe.
Joe Forrest, Lakeview Avenue East. I'm just wondering, seeing we don't have many code officers, are the trustees allowed to issue tickets against a homeowner that's doing work on their house?
Well, they're not supposed to, because it's public policy that trustees are in a legislative capacity, not in law enforcement capacity. Under extraordinary circumstances, the mayor can, as the chief executive, but the trustees, no.
Okay. Can they maybe just send a reminder letter to the people that they were in violations?
Yes. So I have two volunteers.
There's garbage put out on Thursday nights for a Monday pickup. That sits in the road.
So they should be getting tickets for that. But yeah, I do have two volunteers that are going to put together welcome baskets. We have a lot of new residents, and one of the complaints that I got from Paul Frazier actually brought it to my attention was we need to inform residents, and we're going to be sending out messages to that point about, if you're thinking about doing that kind of work in the village, please contact the village office first because that ties up to the variance.
I mean, Juneteenth was a disgrace. That was supposed to be a non-working day, correct? I mean, I just broke down Windsor Avenue, and there were 6 landscapers working in there. Got somebody rebuilding his house there. So I guess there was no code guy on that day.
There was not a code guy on that day, you're right. So again, I hear what you're saying, but I do have 2 volunteers that are going to put together a welcome basket, and I'm going to work with the local real estate, so anybody that comes into the village, one of the things they'll get in there is a letter basically saying about, from myself and the board saying that if you're going to do any kind of work in the village, or you do anything, please contact the village office and see if you need a permit. That will hopefully alleviate some of this because we get a lot of residents that are in the middle of projects and when Bob has to go shut them down. That's not a good use of this time. Then they have another variance board. It's not a good use of your time. So we can head off that. We will. As far as code violations, as far as garbage, that will be also in that packet. When you put garbage out, the recycling calendar will be in that one as well. The trash pickup. That's going to be in that welcome basket. So that's something that my volunteers need to get on sooner than later. And we'll get that out. I mean, again, if you have a new neighbor, I always say the best way to meet a new neighbor is go over and just say, hey, do you know about this? Okay, little simple things before they become big things that you hate your neighbor for 20 years. I always think it's always good to speak to your neighbors. I know that I had a conversation with somebody very close to me right now about their neighbor that was doing something in their yard, and I said, have you spoken to them? That's the best way to get conversation. Most people in the village are pretty decent.
How many code officers do we have?
Yep.
Off the top of my head, we have 5, but we have a couple of tours that aren't filled right now. Sunday, obviously, we had he called in sick, so there wasn't much we could do. I think we have to fill Monday afternoon, but hopefully, we have somebody coming in to interview this week. Hopefully, we'll be able to fill all the spots. If you see any issues like that, call code, let them know, there's garbage out on Thursday or something like that, and
well, I don't know if they're fully aware of a lot of the different codes, because I've seen them drive by different situations that should have been.
So yeah, I agree 100%. And so we are going to do a re-education. Bill has floated the idea of a senior code person. So he floated the idea of a senior code person, and one of the things that I would like to see is they have a monthly powwow, even if it's on Zoom, about trends that they're seeing and things that we've got to focus on. So like right now, I would tell all the code guys, you got to focus on the corners right now. It's so bad with parking. And then I would also, have them focus on if there's trash is an issue, then let's have it.
Just the first warning.
Absolutely. And I think most people get it. I think most people get it, but I think some people just don't realize that you're not allowed to have your trash up at 5 o'clock. So, and I also look at this, if somebody's going away, going to work or something, and put it out a little bit earlier, I'm okay with that. But I don't want it out there for 2 days. And I don't want the pail out there for the day afterwards. Thank you. Thanks. Anybody else?
Anybody?
Chris?
Chris Pace, still live in the same house? Pat, is it possible to, when we have like next month's meeting, if there are any issues that have to be followed up, that could be something that's said like, hey, this was discussed last meeting, and this is what we did on follow-up?
Yeah. I think the only outstanding thing I have right now is Carmen's question, correct?
You might have some for me.
You have some more?
What is?
Can you come up to the podium?
One of my t-shirts and that?
Come up to the podium, Chris.
Come on,
Come on, Chris.
This is good. You're not going to intimidate me.
I'm not going to intimidate you, but I want you on camera.
I had a hint. Go over space 506 this way.
That's fine. Go ahead.
That's great. The yellow curves around four corners, where actually your dad once said that's not no parking. I think actually you need it to be no parking, correct?
Go by the state of New York means no parking.
Okay, so we don't want to have too many signs at one of our points. Is it possible to have no parking painted just on that?
So unfortunately, you could put no parking on that curb, and they'll probably put their tires on their SUV on top of that. So we're going to take matters in our own hand and put a barrier so they're not going to be able to.
Or like Union does in going east, just past a base shop, right? Every single corner, they have those red marks where you can't park. Just for visibility, right?
Is it red reserved for our, like our entrance? Yeah, so you gotta be careful with your colors, to be honest with you. So red is fire zone, yellow is no parking, white is parking. So I mean that's what I was still pretty sure the state would do. So I mean we could try putting no parking inside it, and but I have 6 DPW guys and 2 on vacation at any given point.
Well, it's just not people. People know that there's a block line or diagonal lines. You can't park on the four corners. So you can see.
Don't disagree.
Don't drive.
Don't disagree with you there either.
Right? Because the guy was coming out of where the taco place is, coming the wrong way.
Do I know that individual?
I'm coming up on my bike. Almost runs me over. Gives me the yeah. But then he tries to make a left, going down on Orinoco, but he doesn't realize that traffic's coming. So he stops. So now I confront him with that on my bicycle. I was feeling pretty good that day. So, but the thing about it is, that's people don't know that anymore.
So Chris, as we were coming to the meeting tonight, as I'm passing Stitches and Screens, the gentleman was parked in front of Stitches and Screens and made a 3-point turn in front of him. On Wilson. So yes, I hear you.
I see it down my nose all the time.
There's a lot of things I can fix. I can't fix.
You're right. All right. So things you can fix. If there's a electrical wire or a optimal wire, but that's all I can touch. Right on Wilson.
Okay.
I can see that.
It's on Windsor where?
On the park, right next to the park.
Okay.
On the park side.
So just so you know, there's a gentleman that goes around and he basically surveys things. There's a telephone pole in front of the taco place that was there, the Chinese place that we agreed to, the curbing that is no longer attached to the ground. And that's been going on for 5 years, and we make a complaint about that once a month, not more. It's still not done because they're already on whose pole it is.
Gotcha.
So just to put it in reference for you, because it drives me crazy, but I will tell the gentleman that does that for us to add that to his list.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And then the one that I actually brought to you outside, we've had these great events down at Gilbert Park. Right now, even though it's a part-time dog park, it's a park, right? For all purposes, it's a park. It's gigantic. So we should be able to share it. I was here at the meeting when we actually moved it to being a dog park. There were certain things that were said during that meeting, such as the people who have dogs are going to get insurance and That, I know that happened.
Yeah.
Right, so basically, they came down, made a lot of noise, and we gave hours for a dog park. The hours are not, people don't restrict themselves to those times. If we had a large area fenced in, it could be a dog park all day. Just sharing a park. Nobody wants to kick the dogs out. But there's plenty of room so that we could utilize that space in the future and also have a dedicated dog area.
I'm happy to have a public discussion about that. I think I told you this, that you better be careful.
I will be
push
prepared.
for, because there might be people coming with pitchforks and torches. But I'm happy to have that conversation. We had our ice cream social this past summer. We had several people with dogs at the event.
One was very nasty when they were kids.
Yes, one was very nasty, and the person that had that dog knew that they were not supposed to. I'm
There's
not
no dog
going to
park.
call anybody out on it. That person knew for a fact that that dog was not supposed to be there. There was two others that we politely said, you can't have the dogs, but if you want to stay, just move to the outside of it and everybody else. They did. So, if I can't get people to comply with the city, and now you're asking me to deal with which, I understand what you're saying.
No, I know
But
people
I
are gonna
want to
comply.
put everything in perspective. So you may put a fenced in thing, but you just allow people running their dogs down there. I've been guilty of it too. I go down there if it's all fair. I'll keep my dogs on the leash, but I've been guilty. Let them run. I don't do it anymore because my dog got attacked by a dog that wasn't from the door. Let it go down there and roll down. This is kind of sad, but unless they're on leash. But yeah, we can have a public discussion about it, and the village have that conversation.
I'll do research on it.
So that's the second thing I would add. Bottom line.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Not a good day to be in.
All right, so.
Is that everything?
Thank you. Anybody else? Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing?
Linda Martinez and Windsor. So I don't have a pitchfork, but I go to the dog park a lot. And most people do stack the hours that are there. I understand that there could be other uses for it. But I was just asking those the dog park owners that it's really maybe disrespectful of the hours, because for the most part they really don't. I've also been there where people are there after the hours and they immediately put their dogs on a leash because the other owners also need them, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
use the dog park as well. So I'm sorry to take some time, but the experience with your dog is we've had this our third and fourth dog at that park, and it's wonderful, and it's a great community center. You meet a lot of people that would never meet.
Absolutely.
And so it's really a nice gathering. Yeah, we do more things with it, maybe so. But,
We did this past weekend. We
Yeah.
had Maggie Fisher. That was
Yeah.
well used. We had the Celebration 250, so we do a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tons.
and we have, Snapper, we have the Kiwis, Kiwanis going to be using it there, and we have, I think, the Hard Pump uses it once as well. So
Yeah.
we do a lot of other stuff there.
Absolutely. And then the other thing is, I really wanted to thank you personally for taking the emails that you bombarded me with. Because I'm the person that wants us to stop singing the geese drowning in the canal. I'm one of the few people, so thank you very much for hearing me out and giving me the time.
I
know
shared
you're
your
just getting
emails.
on your feet here.
I just shared your emails with the board.
And I'm making your life that much easier.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, some of the comments people have made about code enforcement. This would be really one that's next. But there's a gentleman who I used to work with, and he lives in an incorporated municipality in New Jersey. Residents are allowed to issue code violations within their own community.
So we just had that conversation tonight. There's a thing out there. So here's where I land, and I kind of left it to the board to have this conversation internally. You come home from work and you have the car running because you're picking up or dropping off a kid, and somebody drives by at that moment and snaps the picture, and you're parked you're facing the wrong way. It goes to some other thing, and that person who did that gets paid. So there'll be people out there who get paid to get to it. What if that person wants to fight?
No, I know.
what do we do?
I
It
think-
doesn't come back to us.
Look, I
And do we-
consider
and do we
it
want-
an absolute
Yeah. And
disaster.
do we want vigilantes of our
No,
residents?
we do not.
To, for
The
me,
answer is no.
I think that outweighs the benefit of actually having a cell police in general.
However, in the case where people are, to Chris's point, parking in yellow painted
Right.
areas,
Right.
because that does become a hazard for people trying to make those turns on those corners because it creates blind spots.
Yeah.
That's a matter of taking a photo and, letting people know, hey, these are the types of things that are a safety issue. And if code enforcement isn't there to do that, maybe that's an opportunity for somebody in the community, even any of the business owners that are there, to just give a call to the village and say, hey, we need somebody to come over and execute a code enforcement.
It's like a code of shame when somebody gets a TV there in the paper.
I'm not
We
into
do-
any of that.
I'm
but-
just saying, but maybe there is a way that we can,
Look,
and
some
I
things,
would-
yes,
I would
not
put-
everything.
I would put it on the app too, so that people have to use the app, so I'm trying to get the paper.
Yeah.
Where we can snap it, I don't know, Bobby, if Charlie will go out to find out whose plate that is, and when they do, it's in other villages, and we can send them a letter,
Yeah.
make sure they're.
But
Because if it's, because
there are
if
certain parking violations
Yeah.
that, you can take a photo of it, and you don't have to get directly involved in it. And then the village can certainly send a follow-up letter and say, hey, this is a first offense.
might be a lot of
let me
postage.
know. Huh?
Might be a lot of postage.
Maybe.
No, but yeah, no, I like what you're saying. Perhaps like Google, it's like ways to take crowd shaming
Yeah.
people that do that.
Well, it's
stuff.
not so much a shaming thing for me. It's a matter of if you're
Informing.
parking somewhere illegally
Yeah.
and you maybe don't know. Because I live on one of the streets where the voters park,
Yeah.
right? And I kind of manage the corner for them. So when people have big parties and the people are parking on the street, because there's only one there's one no parking sign on the opposite side of the street and on my side of the street. It identifies that you have to have a voter's permit.
Right.
But if you don't know the area, that voter's permit sign is way down to the
Right.
concourse.
Right.
So there'll be 7, 8 cars parked, and I'll come out and people are dressed going to a party, and I'm like, you guys, I'm not sure you want to park here with my kids. So they don't know.
Right.
So I'm not talking about that kind of thing. I'm talking about we really do have some safety issues like that.
Yeah. No, good. All good comments, and yeah, I'll do a deep dive and see if there's something out there where we can kind of capture or there's. I'm sure AI can create something.
No,
But I'll take a look
no,
at it. Thank you. Any other questions, concerns, thoughts? All right, call for a motion to close our meeting. A second. All those in favor? Thank you.
It's unbelievable.
So let me know.